I'm James Woods. Die, fucker, die!
Ah!
Get into the sunlight!
Ah!
Hello, my name is Pam.
Hello, I am Robert.
What's the name of the movie?
Today we're reviewing John Carpenter's Vampires. It's known as that, as well as just plain old Vampires, from 1998.
Excellent film. It was directed by John Carpenter, mega famous director, basically creator of slasher films.
We've reviewed a lot of his movies on October Movie Fest Countdown. So it involves vampires, as you might gather from the title, and it's more specific than that. So James Woods, he's probably the head vampire hunter. You know, it's vampires versus vampire hunters, as is often the case in vampire movies.
Yes.
And today we're both dressed in our snazzy leather jackets.
And sunglasses to pay respect.
Yeah, to James's performance.
James
Woods' performance. He liked to wear a leather jacket when he hunts vampires.
I would go so far as to say he was infatuated with himself in a leather jacket. You could just tell he wanted this role so bad.
Do you think he took that jacket home when they wrapped shooting?
Oh, I bet he did. I bet he looks at himself in the mirror all the times and maybe tries to make out with himself.
I think he's got it on a mannequin in a secret closet. He opens it up, nobody's around, and he opens it up, and then he touches it, and then he takes the jacket off and puts it on.
He definitely does. I bet because he's like a skinny guy, right? He's not like a big, tough guy. He's a thin man. But I could see in his face when he put on his leather jacket and his sunglasses, he felt impenetrable.
The main reason he did this film is so that he had never played an action hero before. And he said that. He's like, I want to do it because I want an action hero role. But I digress. He plays vampire hunters that work under the auspices of the Vatican.
Yes.
They work for the Catholic Church.
Very official slang.
And vampires are evil, and the Catholic Church wants them hunted down and killed, so I assume they have teams all over the world. So he's the head of this one team, and the whole first sequence, it's good because they don't just, it's not like the old Van Helsing days. Oh, we sneak in broad daylight. Sneak. Look, there's a coffin. Open the coffin, stab it in the heart, hammer, chop. And then it's way more complicated than that. First of all, vampires in this, they do not sleep in coffins during the day.
No, and he let us know they don't sleep in coffins. Garlic does nothing to them.
Yeah, a lot of the rules that you think you know are all BS.
Yep.
And they live in nests, and he destroys a nest, but then the master vampire comes and sort of gets retribution against his team. So then the rest of the movie is about James Woods hunting down this particular master vampire. Why did their team get their ass kicked? As we learn at the beginning of the film, they think James Woods there's not many people left, but he's there's got to be a mole. Somebody's got to be feeding information to the vampires or something.
But there was a mole because the master wasn't in the nest.
Right, the master was not in the nest when they attacked.
That was weird.
But then I just kind of forgot about that whole subplot. But the last 20 minutes of the film is all about the mole and the final resolution of the show. By the way, where was the master? This was the first movie that I think I had ever seen where vampires can escape the daylight. Because that's one thing that still is true. Vampires, they will burn up in daylight. Burst into flames. I mean, I do kind of like those special effects, but it looked like what they did was they just tied bottle rockets sometimes to the stuntmen. It was like... and they can dig under the ground. So he can quickly oh, the sun's about to come up, and he must be able to dig down under like a foot of dirt, and then just lay under a foot of dirt while until the sun goes down, and then he climbs up out of the dirt. So that's pretty cool looking when they show vampires coming up out of the dirt.
Like they burrow like a...
They don't really show them going in too much, but the coming out is very dramatic. And, you know, first time, I mean, it's happened, I think, since then. I think we saw some of that in the True Blood series and stuff like that.
Okay.
Maybe it happened before. I'm just not recalling.
We just don't know.
There's a Baldwin brother in this film. Wait! Don't pull the trigger! Oh, I'm sorry. It's the other Baldwin brother.
Oh.
It's Daniel Baldwin, not Alec.
Yeah, he's like the I guess fourth most famous brother.
To the best of my knowledge, Daniel Baldwin has never killed anyone.
No, I cannot speak on that.
I think that's the case. Cheryl Lee is in it.
Yes.
I mean, she starts out as a prostitute, I think.
Well, she's like the classiest prostitute, or the best prostitute available, and James Woods was like, hey, I'm not getting any prostitute, I'm getting the best one of all the prostitutes. And that was Cheryl Lee.
I mean, why not? So, Cheryl Lee, what was she famous? What's her famous role?
I don't know.
She was Laura Palmer in Twin Peaks.
Oh!
I mean, she's done other stuff, but I would say
Twin Peaks, that's good.
That's her famous. And then later in Twin Peaks, she plays, I don't know, Laura Palmer's identical cousin or something.
Okay.
The guy that plays the master vampire.
Yes.
I mean, there's more than one master, but the main master vampire.
Main dude, Valak.
Valak is the character's name. Thomas Ian Griffith is the actor's name.
He's very intense.
Do you recognize what else he has been in and he is currently acting in?
No.
He doesn't do a lot of roles.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Ian Griffith, as of today, has 32 acting credits on IMDb. Do you watch Cobra Kai by any chance?
I don't. Would he happen to be in
He is in Cobra Kai. He plays Terry Silver, who's the bad guy, I guess. It's kind of difficult to pick who's the super bad guy. I think he's the bad guy in Cobra Kai, at least starting in like season 2, which means he was the bad guy in Karate Kid 3.
Oh, whoa.
Because he's the same character as he is in Cobra Kai. Anyway, he's great.
He's fantastic.
He's scary. He's huge. He's menacing.
Yeah.
He's good.
Very intense, that intense, scary gaze. So, hey, there is a bosom alert at 21 minutes.
It's hooker bosom.
Lots of hooker bosom.
It's not Cheryl Lee's. However,
no.
At 41 minutes in, you get to see a naked Cheryl Lee buttocks.
Yes, it's very... She works out.
She's face down on the bed, and you can see her naked butt.
Butts.
Also, it's not a full bosom alert, but in that same scene, same shot, you get some sidewall action on Cheryl Lee. But she must have had no full-blown nudity in her contract.
She's a very classy prostitute.
Classy prostitute. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's about it. I kind of expected a little bit more given, the movie. But the director did want to, or maybe it was the writer. It was either John Carpenter or the guy who did the screenplay. He's like, these vampires, they're not like pale, gothic, lonely hearts. These are savage.
Yes.
Almost animalistic. And I believe he pulled that off.
Very well.
Because when the master gets pissed and he's like unstoppable. He's just ripping people apart and arms and legs off, and he's very, very savage and strong. Mm-hmm. Not at all
creepy, like oh, I'm Dracula and creep up on you.
Oh, don't stake me. Oh,
yeah, no, he's like in your face. Don't mess with me. I'm Valak. I'm 600 years old. Boom.
Yes. I don't want to talk too much about his history. Oh. Because it's a good part of the story that I don't want to spoil. Mm-hmm. So it's a straightforward vampire hunter, vampire movie.
Yep.
Sometimes they kill this side and the other side. It's good versus evil.
Yep.
Right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's straightforward that way.
Mm-hmm.
There's the bit about maybe there's a mole in the organization. That's a little twisty turn.
Mm-hmm.
There's not. I didn't find it too suspenseful. Like I enjoyed it, but I kind of didn't like care about the characters too much. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
You know. I like Daniel Baldwin's performance.
No, he did a good job, but then, yeah, I didn't really care about... Or there might have been some romance in it, but I didn't really care about the romance either. I'm just like, oh,
probably because
okay.
they weren't showing enough bosom. That would make me
always,
focus more.
Always the culprit.
Let's do some lines from this movie.
I spent the last 2 weeks running whores and buying liquor stores for this bunch.
I wish I had a dedicated assistant like that. We kill vampires. We hunt them down and kick the shit out of them. That's a guy who understands his job.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just ask you something. After 600 years, how's that dick working? Pretty good?
Die, you fucker, die!
She really got into that. Some people have said that this is John Carpenter's bloodiest movie because there is a lot of blood and gore and body parts separated and all kinds of stuff like that. I tend to think that The Thing is perhaps gorier than this. Let's just call this his second goriest movie.
Yeah, The Thing is gory. I mean, the amount of blood, but it's also about vampires, so that kind of cancels that out a little bit.
Well, I mean, you have to expect it.
Yeah.
But, there's other John Carpenter movies. He's not a big gore thing. Like Halloween, the first Halloween, I don't even know if you could see any blood. I mean, people are getting stabbed and stuff, but I don't even recall if there's any blood that you see on anybody's face or even on a knife or stuff. So he doesn't really usually do the gore thing, but this is a pretty bloody movie.
Yeah.
How many pumpkins would you give John Carpenter's Vampires?
So I would give it 3 pumpkins for the movie and then 1 pumpkin for James Woods.
You like James that much?
He would just... I could just tell how thrilled he was to be in that movie, and
I'll give it a 4. I'll go with a 4 out of 5. It's a good vampire movie. It's a good John Carpenter movie. Maybe not his best. I mean, I like The Thing and I like Big Trouble in Little China. But this is a good, solid movie, and you don't see James Woods play parts like this.
No, it was an interesting, surprising twist.